Chelsea close in on Werner. Newcastle bid for one of Europe's hottest marksmen. The Golden Boy nominees are announced. Aubameyang puts the ball in Arsenal's court, and a transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, Chelsea are dotting the I's and crossing the T's on Timo Werner's 200k a week contract. It will see him move from RB Leipzig to Stamford Bridge. Now, the reason why it's actually being forced through kind of quickly, despite the fact there were a few hiccups along the way, is that the £53 million release clause that Timo Werner has in his contract expires today. If you're not watching today, it's Tuesday today. This means that they'll obviously have to get the deal done rather quickly. Otherwise, if it expires, they'll basically be at the mercy of RB Leipzig not wanting to lose one of their top strikers, and Lord knows how much they're going to charge for him. Obviously, it will mean that once the transfer window opens, Chelsea will be able to sign the German international. Rather, the deal will be confirmed. But the problem is here, especially for Leipzig, is that they're still in the Champions League. If the transfer window is to open in August, as is being touted by many European leagues, that's also when the Champions League is set to be held. So if he moves to Chelsea, basically Leipzig are going to head into the last 8 and potentially beyond without their star striker. Their striker that has managed to score 25 Bundesliga goals this season. Anyway, Chelsea fans, you can look forward to that deal being done anytime soon. But Newcastle fans, unfortunately, the latest rumour, to me anyway, seems like it's probably not going to happen. We all know that Newcastle's takeover is close to being completed, and it would give them an absolute war chest, as is often the word when there's hundreds of millions to be spent in one transfer window. And apparently, they're looking to spend quite a fair chunk of it on Lazio's Ciro Immobile. Now, first off, the fee being quoted is around £50 million. That is a pretty large amount of money, especially when Newcastle really don't spend that much in the first place. Obviously, when they get new investors, they definitely will. But on top of this, it's a 5-year deal for Immobile, around 7.1 million euros per year in wages. And he's already like 30 years old. Like, don't get me wrong, he's unbelievable, right? You've seen what he's doing at Lazio. He's like 7 goals ahead of Ronaldo when it comes to being the top goal scorer. Uh-oh, I said something bad against Ronaldo. For those of you who saw the TFW comment section, don't worry. Cristiano Ronaldo is still great. I still love him. You can check out the video here. But Immobile scored more than him this season. Anyway, back to the Newcastle deal. So yeah, he's a top goal scorer. He can definitely find the back of the net, but it kind of looks like only in Italy. His further moves out of Serie A to the likes of Dortmund and Sevilla really did not produce that many goals. So they're going to splash 50 million and a 5-year, very expensive deal on a 30-year-old who's proven that he can't really score outside of Italy. This one seems a little bit risky for me. I know Edison Cavani is, well, quite a few years older, but if he's going to come in on a free contract, I think he'd probably be a better idea. Anyway, as well as TFW, you can also watch our potential Newcastle lineup, which will be somewhere probably at the end of the video. But before we get onto that, let's talk about the Golden Boy Award. For those of you who don't know what it is, well, it's basically crowning the best player in Europe's top divisions under the age of 21. Now, normally you think, under the age of 21, there could be a few exciting youngsters in there. This year, there's just full-blown top-level players. I mean, this is the award that the likes of Messi, Aguero, Pogba, Mbappe, De Ligt, all those have won, and the current holder is actually João Felix. Definitely deserved it after his years at Benfica. Definitely deserves to have it taken off him after his year at Atletico Madrid. Anyway, who's going to win it this year? There are 2 frontrunners for me, and it has to be Alphonso Davies and Jadon Sancho. It's mad to think that Sancho's one of the best and most expensive players in the world at the moment, and he's still available for the Golden Boy Award, which is for youth players. Anyway, alongside them, there's also some massive names, especially for the future, likes of Eduardo Camavinga, Ansu Fati, Vinicius Jr. is in there. There's definitely loads of young talent. I think there's about 50 players on this list. Anyway, yeah, it may seem a little bit unfair. The likes of Kylian Mbappe won it the same year he won the World Cup, but that's just the way it goes. For me, as I said before, Davis or Sancho are definitely going to be the front runners. Moving on from that though, I'm back to some transfer news where Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has put the ball firmly in Arsenal's court. Now, the club captain has his contract expiring next summer, and if Arsenal want to make any sort of money on him, they're going to have to sell him this summer or in January at least. The thing is, Aubameyang clearly isn't so sure whether or not Arsenal actually want him to sign, or they're willing to give him what he wants. Now, what he wants may not be just money, and I've got a theory that he really wants Arsenal to show signs of improvement. Basically, he talks about every season being a competitive season for him. He wants to win trophies, he wants to be the best that he can be, and that he hasn't really heard much back from Arsenal or any concrete offers in the last few months. I really find that his situation is kind of similar to Harry Kane's at Tottenham. Now, I know there's obviously massive arguments, who's the better one, on who's this and who's that, Arsenal, Tottenham, all this kind of stuff. Both of them are in a really similar position, except the fact that Kane's contract isn't running out. Both of them want to win titles. Honestly speaking, regardless whether you're an Arsenal, Spurs or whatever fan, both of them are going to have far more chance of winning trophies if they're to leave their respective clubs. But I think that with 1 year running out, Arsenal may as well cut their losses and take a bit of money on him. Yes, he does score an insane amount of goals. Lacazette is also at the club. Gabriel Martinelli looks fantastic. Eddie Nketiah has really had a bright start to his young Arsenal career. For me, Arsenal look really, really good going forward. They've got some brilliant young attackers like the ones I've just mentioned. And yeah, they're not going to directly cover Aubameyang. They're not going to straight away replace all his goals. But moving forward, especially if they're not in Europe, they might as well, get rid of Aubameyang and have players who want to be there and who aren't willing to leave at the turn of every corner. Put it this way, if no deal is agreed, it's going to be another season of Aubameyang. Will he stay? Will he leave? Is he going to be leaving in January? Will he agree with another club in January and then have his heart somewhere else for the last 6 months of next season? It's not quite the best position for Arsenal to be in. The difference with Harry Kane is obviously that his contract isn't running out, so a club will have to pay a ridiculous amount of money to let him go. But yeah, that's that. And anyway, talking of Spurs and Arsenal, they feature in the roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, where apparently the Gunners are willing to triple Thomas Partey's wage at Atletico Madrid to bring the Ghanaian to the Emirates. Spurs are closing in on the signing of out-of-contract PSG defender Thomas Meunier. Sheffield United have said that their deal with Manchester United to keep Dean Henderson on loan will cover the finish of the season, despite the fact it goes past June the 30th. And lastly but not least, Leicester City and Crystal Palace are interested in Burnley's James Tarkowski. So that's all from me for today. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and you can also smash the like button whilst you're there. Don't forget to click here or here. This will be the Newcastle video I'm talking about. And yeah, on top of that, have a great day. Make sure you guys are staying safe, and I will see you all soon.